If you're still using ChatGPT for research, you're missing out on what I think is the ultimate AI research workflow. By combining Perplexity with NotebookLM, you can do faster research, get better insights, and actually create finished products like blog posts and presentations directly from your research. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how this workflow works and show you some really powerful examples of what you can do with it. This video is sponsored by i10x. It's no secret that Perplexity is absolutely incredible at research. In fact, I think it's the best AI research tool that's available on the market right now. It does real-time web searches, it pulls from multiple sources, and you have inline citations so you can fact check every response that it sends you. But to be honest, that's all I really find that it's good for. I just don't find that it's good at organizing or analyzing information or creating anything with it. But NotebookLM, on the other hand, that's what it excels at. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed research from Perplexity into NotebookLM to get some incredible results. For example, let's say you have to give a presentation on whether traditional cars or electric cars are worse for the environment. You should start here on Perplexity and just type your question into the query box. Now, I always like to make sure that if I want a more in-depth answer, I'm going to toggle this on right here, which is called research. And I'm also going to make sure that over here under my sources, I select all the sources that I wanted to pull from. So obviously I wanted to pull from the web, but you could also turn on academic sources as well, and social sources. Social sources are extremely helpful if you want opinions from regular users, so I'm gonna go ahead and toggle that one on. Now go ahead and run this query, but because we have on deeper research, it's gonna take a few minutes for it actually to generate the entire report. And here we can see in real time all of the sources that it's reviewing for this query. And what I like about this is that when you turn on the deeper research, it actually breaks it down into different questions and does separate research for each of those questions that then build on top of the previous one. And then right here, we can see the answer that it came up with. Now, using this report, you want to go ahead and give it a read and find the information in it that you think is going to be relevant for, in this case, your presentation. And so let's say right here, we have this paragraph about the overall carbon footprint. If I hover over the end of it right here, it actually gives us a citation to the source where this information was gathered from. And if I go ahead and click on any of those, it will go ahead and open up the page as well. And the best way to use this in conjunction with NotebookLM is to go through this entire report and to find the sources that give you the information that's going to be relevant for the end product that you're trying to create and that you find is accurate and reputable as well. So for instance, if I'm coming through here, let's go ahead and open up a few of these. I found some good sources right here. And then once I have those sources, that's when we can jump over to NotebookLM. Now, if you've never used NotebookLM before, just come over to notebooklm.google.com. This is free to use, and you'll want to go ahead and create your first notebook. Now, notebooks are a way to organize information that you find from the web. But what's unique about it is that it is training an AI chatbot on only the information that you put into it. So if we only put in links to these two websites, then that's the only information it's going to be trained on. It's not going to pull information in from the outside. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull in all the sources that I found from Perplexity that I like, and I'll go ahead and click where it says links and websites and begin to paste in those links to those articles. And one pro tip here is that you can paste in multiple links. All you have to do is separate them with a space, and you can even paste in links to YouTube videos as well. Great, so now I've pasted in all the links that I want to use for this notebook. And again, what I didn't do was I didn't grab every single source that was mentioned inside of this report. I only grabbed the relevant ones. Once I have them all in here, I can go ahead and click on Insert. And now here on the left, you see those loading into this notebook. Now you notice that 2 of these failed. Unfortunately, that does happen with NotebookLM. Some sources aren't able to be uploaded. So to clear that out, just click on More and remove all failed sources. Now we're only left with 2, so I'm going to go back to Perplexity and find some other articles that might work as well. Because you'll notice that if you click on a lot of these citations or hover over them, you don't just get one source, a lot of times you get multiple sources. Now this source looks fantastic for my presentation, so I'm going to copy down the link for it, come back to NotebookLM, and I can add a new source by clicking up here where it says Add Sources, and do the same thing where I click on Links and Websites, paste it in, and click on Insert. Great, so now you can see we have 5 sources in here that are making up this notebook, and NotebookLM will automatically give this notebook a title as well, but you can always click up here to change it. Now here in the middle, this is where you can chat with this information. So this is helpful as you're preparing for your presentation or preparing the notes that you're going to say during that presentation. But the most useful thing inside of here is here on the right under the studio section, because in here this is where you can actually generate content like slide decks. So over here on the right, there's a button here that says slide deck. Go ahead and click on this pencil icon, and this will open up the settings for your slide deck. Now, you can either have a detailed deck, which will have all of the information sort of crammed into it, or we have presenter slides, where there's going to be less information on the slides, and then you, as the speaker, the one doing the presentation, will be doing most of the talking, describing what the slide is about. Since that's what we're doing here today, I'm going to go ahead and select presenter slides, and I want to make this one a little bit longer instead of the default length. Finally, we can describe what the slide deck is going to be about. So I'm going to type in here, are electric cars or traditional ICE cars worse for the environment? And then I'll go ahead and click on generate. And here on the right, you see it is now generating that slide deck. Now, while that's generating, because it will take a couple minutes, let's pop back over to Perplexity because I want to show you the difference in quality between these two different tools. So now I'm going to click on Labs right here, and this is only available, I think, if you're on the paid plan. But this is what enables Perplexity to do things like create presentations or slide decks or dashboards. And I'm just going to tell it to turn all of the information that it gathered from its research into a slide deck that compares whether electric cars or traditional ICE cars are worse for the environment. So I'm basically giving it the exact same prompt that I just gave NotebookLM. But check out how different the results are. This was the presentation that was created by Perplexity. Sure, all the information's in here, but it's just text and it's pretty boring. Compare that to what was created by NotebookLM. And this one is a complete 180. Tons of images in here that were generated. We have titles with more images and subtext. We have graphics that were created. We have graphs. We have maps. We have more graphs. We have more maps. So a really fully fleshed out slide deck with some stunning visuals to make this a lot more exciting and a lot more usable when you are actually giving a presentation. Now, slide decks are only one of the incredible things that you can create with this workflow. In a second, I'll show you how you can create whole data tables and reports as well. But first, let's hear from today's sponsor, who is i10x. i10x is an all-in-one platform that gives you access to all the best AI models for one low monthly cost. When you come over to their chatbot, you don't just get access to models from one company like OpenAI, you get access to all the best models like GPT 5.2, Gemini 3 Pro, Grok 4, and Claude Sonnet. And this is great if you're someone like me who just likes to use the best model for the job. For instance, as a general use chatbot, I love using Gemini, but for any type of writing, I prefer Claude. If you're not sure which one to go with, just leave it on auto, and it will automatically pick the best model for the job. Or you can head over to Chat Arena, and this will allow you to put in one prompt and get an answer from 2 different models to see which one you like the best. i10x also gives you access to deep research, which is powered by Perplexity Sonar Pro, probably the best AI model for research. Of course, you also get AI image generation in here with access to top models like GPT Image 1.5 and Google Nano Banana Pro, and AI video generation using models like Sora 2, Kling 1.6, and Veo 3.1. But one of the most useful features is their agents. This allows you to select an LLM and then define a system prompt that will act as the brain for this agent. That way you can interact with the agent and never have to repeat a prompt ever again. If you're not sure how to get started with this, there's a Discover tab where you can see community created agents. They can do a variety of different tasks for you, like generate images, remove backgrounds, and remove watermarks. And then finally, it also allows you to create custom chatbots, which you can actually train on your own data just by uploading a knowledge base URL. The best part about this, though, is that i10x starts at just $8 a month if you go with the yearly subscription, or $10 a month if you want to pay month to month. So check out i10x at the link in the description down below, and thank you i10x for sponsoring this video. For this next example, we're going to switch gears a little bit. I'm going to jump into Comet Browser, which is the browser that was created by Perplexity. Now, if you have a Perplexity Pro plan, you also get access to their agent, which can do some pretty wild stuff. So I have the agent open right here. It's called the Assistant, and I'm going to ask it to analyze the top performing videos from a few different YouTube channels from the past 30 days. So basically what I'm asking it to do is some competitor research. For me, that means analyzing YouTube channels. For you, it could mean analyzing a new industry or other competitors in your industry. And what you'll notice that it's doing is it's actually navigating the web for us. It is opening up each of the channels, looking at all their top videos and seeing which one performed the best, because that's what I asked it to do. And all this is being done autonomously, completely hands off for me. I could step away and come back later when it's actually done, looking at all these different channels and analyzing them. Okay, so here's the report right here. It's gone through the top performing videos for each channel in the past 30 days, and it's giving me a breakdown of which ones perform the best. Now, what I'll do is I'll jump back over to Gemini, because even though that report was done inside of Comet, I can still access it from any of my Perplexity accounts, no matter where I'm logged in, I should say. So here's the same report right here, and I'm going to start by just actually copying this. So coming down to the bottom, I can go ahead and click on copy, and then jump over to NotebookLM, and let's start a new notebook. And this time I'm going to choose copied text, and I'm just going to paste in that text and click on insert. Now, since that is all the information that I want to use when creating different assets for this notebook, that's all the information I'm going to put in there. Don't think that just because you can upload a ton of sources into here that you have to. Perplexity already went out and did the compilation for us, found all the information and compiled it into this report. That is all that we need. And so now when I come over here on the right and I go ahead and create a data table, and we'll also click on reports, it is only going to use this information to generate both of those. And both of these usually work pretty quickly. So here we can see that the data table is already complete. It says top performing e-commerce YouTube videos. Go ahead and open that up. Let's go ahead and expand it. So now we see all that same information just laid out nicely now in this data table. And if we wanted to use this further, we can even click up here, and that will then export it to Google Sheets. And now clicking out of this, you can see that the report is now finished as well. So let's go ahead and open that one up. And you can see this is the report that it generated about all of that information. And the reason I kind of do this two-step system with NotebookLM when we already have a report from Perplexity is, again, just because I find that Perplexity is really good at kind of getting that raw information. But any of these Google products like NotebookLM just does a better job of sort of synthesizing that information and putting it together in a presentable format, such as this report that it generated for us. And then I can even do something like come into the chat and say, put together a plan on the best way to produce YouTube videos. And then based on this information, it's going to lay out an entire plan for us. And there we go. It says, based on the performance metrics of successful e-commerce channels, here is a strategic plan for producing YouTube videos designed to maximize views and engagement. And then it goes through exactly how to do that. So there you have it, the Perplexity plus NotebookLM workflow. Use Perplexity to find and vet your sources, then use NotebookLM to analyze those sources and create finished outputs like presentations, blog posts, research reports, whatever you need. Now, if you want to learn about some advanced ways to use Perplexity that I haven't seen anyone else ever talk about, click on this video right here. Inside of it, I reveal 7 advanced Perplexity research tips that will change the way that you use it and the way that you do research with AI. So click right here, and I'll see you over there in just 1 second. Bye for now.